The Utah Jazz are again one of the best teams in the NBA this season, currently with a record of 9-5 as of when writing this script. However, after the last couple of years of the Jazz falling short in the postseason, many people still have doubts about this side's legitimacy as a title contender. Well, I'm here to tell you today why you shouldn't sleep on this Utah squad, because this might just be the best they've ever been and could finally make a playoff run deeper than the second round. So, in today's video, I'll be discussing all the things I've liked in Utah's game so far this season, the players playing well, and the other factors contributing to their early season success. Before we start, if you're new here and enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe. For more NBA content like this, I'd love to hit 18,000 subscribers by December, so all support would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about the Utah Jazz. As I mentioned, Utah is currently 9-5 on the season and sit in 4th in the Western Conference, just 1.5 games behind the Phoenix Suns, who sit in 2nd. Though Utah has been in a bit of a slump lately, dropping 4 of their last 6 games, for the most part, these haven't been bad losses. They held their head high after nearly fighting back from a 30-point deficit against the Miami Heat on November 13, as well as when they fought back from a double-digit deficit in the final few minutes against the Heat just a week prior. The L's to Chicago and Indiana weren't terrible either. They could have gone either way. The only bad loss that they've really had this season was against Orlando in my eyes. They've also proven to be a legit side by winning games they should win, as they comfortably shut out the Hawks twice, blitzed past the undermanned 76ers, and also had very impressive victories against the Bucks and Nuggets. While there have been perhaps some games where Utah lacked intensity and the desire to win the ball game, there's also been plenty of moments where this team looks scary and arguably one of the deepest teams in the competition, particularly against Philadelphia. I mean, they only needed Donovan Mitchell to score an efficient 13 points that night, as they had other guys to step up and create, like Bogdanovic, that tore apart the 76ers defense. Those wide range of options and overall versatility makes Utah so dangerous, and in turn, a legit contending side that shouldn't be disregarded, simply because of some shorter than expected playoff runs in previous years. Some other factors that I think have contributed to the Jazz's success is their defense and shooting. The team's identity is based around their defensive tenacity, anchored by a top 5 big man in the league and probably the best defensive player in the last 5 to 10 years. It makes it incredibly difficult to get the easiest shot in basketball against them, a layup, as Rudy Gobert forces the opposition to match their defensive level to stay in the game. Utah's shooting has also been really good for the most part to begin the season. They currently rank 4th on true shooting percentage amongst 30 NBA teams. With this efficient shooting, their offense overall has become very effective, currently 6th in the league in offensive rating as of when recording this video. These factors have made the Jazz a fun team to watch, but also a dangerous one that could potentially go on a deep playoff run come April. So, who are the players contributing to the success and enabling Utah to be so brilliant yet again in 2022? The first guy we have to talk about is Rudy Gobert. Right now, he's easily my favorite for the Defensive Player of the Year yet again. He seems very likely to pick up his 4th trophy. Some people love to hate on Gobert, and while they do have some fair reasons, this hate blinds them from realizing how impactful and incredible Gobert is for Utah, especially defensively. I mean, Gobert currently leads the league in defensive win shares at 1.1 through 14 games, and is also amongst the top 10 for defensive box plus minus. Though context is important with stats, I think at face value, that just shows how brilliant Gobert is on that end of the floor. He's currently averaging 15 points per game and 15 boards a night too. Ridiculous, all NBA caliber stuff, and he's doing that on amazing efficiency of 70% shooting from the field. Obviously, Gobert isn't taking many shots outside of 10 feet, but at least he's playing elitely where he makes his best impact. It's hard to deny that. It's MVP type impact. Yes, while Gobert sometimes being an offensive liability does hold him back a bit, he's still an all-NBA level player, An elite all-around defender, plain and simple. A player who makes winning the Defensive Player of the Year seem so easy and natural is an incredible talent and will go down in history as a positive thing, like it or not. So I suggest putting some respect on Gobert's name now. He's earned it. Continues to prove night in and night out why he makes Utah arguably a top 5 squad in the league. The other star on this squad is Donovan Mitchell, who, though slightly inefficient to begin this season, is playing at a near career best level. He's an MVP smoky, as he's been the past couple seasons, and with him only just entering his prime, he's going to get even better from here, which is crazy to think about. He's an elite shot creator, easily Utah's best, and his ability to make space when it seems he has limited room is incredible. Sometimes, Mitchell is tasked to carry the offensive load a bit, but with Utah making smart additions over the past couple of seasons, like bringing in Jordan Clarkson, Mike Conley and Bogdanovic, he's able to be more effective with his touches and set his teammates up in good positions. I mean, it's just crazy to say that he led Utah to the #1 seed at just 24 years old. D-Mitch is a borderline superstar nowadays, and will continue to make his impact felt throughout this season and into the playoffs. Don't question his ability to step up in the playoffs either, because believe me, Mitchell has done zero choking in his time as an NBA player. Through his last 17 playoff games, Mitchell was averaging 34 points, 5 assists, and has shot 48% from the field and 46% from 3. That is just insane. If anyone is going to lift Utah to championship glory, or at the very least, a spot in the Western Conference Finals, Donovan Mitchell is that guy, and he's continuing to do so this season. The bench of Utah has also been fantastic this season, and that's in large thanks to the continued great play of Jordan Clarkson in the second unit. Though admittedly, he's been a bit streaky to begin this season, not shooting greatly, his ability, regardless, to replace Mitchell and partially fill his offensive creation void is critical to this team and their playoff chances. Once his slump ends, we know he can be one of the hotter shooting players in the NBA, almost impossible to stop when he gets going, so that play will be crucial for Utah's success and chances of a deep playoff run come April. A recent addition to the Jazz has been Hassan Whiteside, and honestly, he's actually been solid, definitely a lot better than I was expecting. He's been a great backup for Rudy Gobert, as the interior threat defensively isn't lost as much when Gobert sits for him. Obviously, Hassan's defensive level is nowhere near the same as Gobert's, but I think he's been serviceable at the very least on that end. On the season, Whiteside's averaging solid figures in limited game time, of 7 points, 7 rebounds on 60% field goal shooting. Again, I just think he's been as good as he can be, and as a result, he's strengthening the second unit of Utah and making them a quality side, even with the stars sitting. Bojan Bogdanovic and Mike Conley have also been incredible to begin their 2022 campaigns. Bogdanovic is averaging nearly 18 points per night on elite shooting efficiency of 60% true shooting. Bojan is able to step up in scoring in games when Mitchell is struggling or needs a rest, and that consistency and talent that he can provide allows for Utah's offense to be so versatile. Mike Conley is a complete game changer as well offensively when he's on the floor, even if it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. His ability to dictate the tempo of the game is severely underrated, even at his older age nowadays, and his dynamic playmaking continues to be crucial to leading the Jazz to success. What's crazy to think about for Utah is that they can still get deeper from here. As of when recording this video, Rudy Gay just came back for his first game of the season, and he dropped an efficient 22 points on 5 for 6 shooting from 3. With Rudy Gay now in the lineup, Utah's scoring versatility, wing defense, and overall depth is going to improve even further. As we've already seen from that one game from Gay, he's going to lift this team to another level alongside Mitchell and Gobert. So maybe he will be the X factor that can lift this team over the hump and into the Western Conference Finals. I'll mention some other guys too, just quickly, that help out Utah, like Joe Ingles and his brilliant shooting that's arguably some of the best in the league, as well as Royce O'Neal, whose hustle and energy is a big help defensively for this squad. But with that being said, how good are the Utah Jazz actually? We've discussed the players and other factors that are contributing to their success currently and the potential they have to make a deep playoff run. But realistically, how far can they actually go? Right now, the Jazz are in a bit of a slump, but they're looking like they might be coming out of it after an enormous win versus Philadelphia and comfortable win over Toronto today. When they do completely sort things out and pick things back up again, they'll be a top 4 seed no doubt. It's hard to imagine them being too much worse from last season. This team hasn't gone anywhere since last season, depth and talent wise, and honestly, they might have even got better in those departments. I also think they copped way too much heat for falling short in the 2021 playoffs. They weren't pretenders at all in my opinion, and still aren't. Sure, losing Game 6 was disappointing, but I don't think losing that series as a whole was. It's provided valuable learning experiences for a team that was being led by a 24-year-old. Donovan Mitchell isn't even in his prime yet, but he's leading a team to a semi-deep playoff run and the number 1 seed in a stacked West. That type of play shouldn't just be disregarded. It's ridiculous MVP caliber type stuff. This team will bounce back this year, as they've already shown through 14 games, so don't count them out come playoff time. I know a lot of people won't see them as legit until they prove themselves in the postseason, but honestly, I personally think that they've proved themselves plenty and are continuing to show they are legit to begin this season. I can't predict the future, but it wouldn't shock me if Utah go on their deepest playoff run to date in 2022, thanks to their great offensive system run by Quinn Snyder and deep core of players, led by Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. So, you probably wouldn't want to sleep on them for the meantime, as they might just make you look a bit stupid in a couple of months. Again, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm pretty confident that the Utah Jazz will be elite again this season, barring injury, and in the end, prove a whole lot of doubters wrong come playoff time. And that will conclude the video. What do you guys think of this? How good are the Utah Jazz to you? How many games do you have them winning this season? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.